Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the channel. Today we're taking a road trip down to Whisky Gap, Alberta. So we're gonna do a little bit about a 500-600 kilometer road trip here. I'm leaving from Leduc, just filled her up, and yeah, we're gonna hit the road looking at some property down there in the Whisky Gap area, which is just south of Cardston and just north of the Montana border. So let's jump behind the wheel and take her for a strip, see how the fuel mileage is and see how she performs on the road. Well guys, here she is. I haven't really done any updates for the Mirage due to the fact that we have no problems with it. Added a good coat of turtle wax. This is actually 2 coats of wax that I had on it. I'd like to happily report there's been no issues at all with this car. So far it's been rattle-free, drum-free, problem-free. It's been averaging about 5 liters per 100 kilometers, 5.2, and that's 99.9% city driving. So that should improve as I go down the highway. It's about a 500 kilometer plus trip that I'm going on. I'll be staying in Cardston. So we're gonna do periodic tests or periodic updates on the drive. But as you can see, the car still looks brand new and is performing really well. No complaints on it, and definitely happy with the purchase and the performance that I've been receiving from the Mirage. So guys, we got a little bit of a drive ahead of us. So we're gonna jump behind the wheels. We're gonna reset all the fuel gauges, miles per gallon or liters per 100K, and we'll check the fuel mileage, and we'll do some check-ins for reports and let you know how it's going. Just myself and a little bit of luggage. There's not too much weight, so we should perform really well. Temperature right now is about 13-14 degrees here. That's Fahrenheit, and it's a bit windy. It's breezy, as you might be able to tell by my mic. And yeah, so anyway, it should be a good ride. See if the weather changes as we go along, but we'll see you guys in behind the wheel. Well, here we go, guys. Let's fire it up. I just filled it up. So we got a full tank of gas with us. Let me just straighten out the wheel here a little bit so you can get better view of the instrumentation. So right now it's 5.3 liters per 100K. I'm gonna reset that to 0. The trip odometer is it's 10 degrees Celsius. That's good. I got 11,200 to the first maintenance. I just checked the oil. We don't have any miles on the car. We haven't really driven it all that much, just more city driving. Instrumentation is 5, and we are now sitting at 834 kilometers on the odometer. So 2 months, we drove it about 400 kilometers a month. So about 100 kilometers a week, if that. So anyway, everything else is hooked up and adjusted properly. So anyway, guys, we are going to do the what's it called, the fuel mileage, and just calculating now. So rather than sit here, waste fuel idling, going nowhere, let's see how good we can get it. Well guys, we're just heading into Red Deer now. Let me show you. We've got about maybe 10 kilometers to go, and been doing really well. The car's been getting, or the Mirage has been getting about 5.4 to 5.5 liters per 100K consistently. And again, it is windy, about 10 degrees outside. The fuel gauge has just dropped its first bar, and I've been on the road for about an hour and a half. So I've been putting on about 100 kilometers, or about an hour I've been on the road. So yeah, about 100 kilometers that I've been on the road, maybe a little bit more. But yeah, everything's going good. I'm going to stop in Red Deer and just take a bit of a break, and then hit the road. Next stop should be Calgary after that, and then Calgary go right to Cardston. So once I get down there, of course, I'll be doing a wrap-up video on this trip going down. But weather's good, no rain, traffic's been clear. Been doing anywhere between 100 and 120 consistently, so that's really good. And that is all to report on the first leg of the journey. So anyway, guys, really happy with the Mirage so far. Get to Calgary, we'll do another little recap video and another little fuel mileage update. So anyway, we will continue motoring on. Hey guys, just passing through Calgary. I did kind of stop. I took a couple little static shots of basically the traffic, just to congest it to bring out the camera to chat into it like this. But anyway, ride's still going really well. Got about a half a tank in the car, and I'm south of Calgary now, so doing really well. It's about 5.1 liters per 100 kilometers, so fuel mileage is going extremely well. That's about 15 degrees now. I think that's the last what the radio kind of announced. And yeah, so anyway, let's turn you around on the camera and show you a bit of the drive. So this will be my last stretch, Fort Macleod, and then I go south of Fort Macleod to Cardston, and that's where my stop is for tonight. Traffic is very light. It's been little heavy construction through Calgary, but nothing bad. It's not rush hour yet, thank God. And now that I'm through Calgary, should be clear sailing from now on. But anyway, guys, I'm showing you doing the speed limit basically, and hitting 5.1 liter per 100K. I was down to 4.9 for part of the drive, so sitting, I'd say, average around 5 liters per 100K. So it's been driving really well. I got the AC on low, and the radio's going good. Again, no real issues or complaints to report. The car is very underrated for the highway. It's got good power for passing and driving and maintaining speed. So anyway, guys, let's continue on, and we'll do another stop, and then when I hit my destination, we'll do the wrap up, and I'll give you my thoughts. Well guys, we made it to Whisky Gap. That was a 5.5 hour drive all the way from Edmonton, Alberta down to Whisky Gap, Alberta, which is basically the bottom of the province, and it's 3 kilometers from the US border. So let's go take a look at the Mirage, and we'll give a little recap on it, and then I'll tell you why I am in Whisky Gap. So anyway guys, been getting about 5 liters per 100 kilometers with the Mirage. It performed really well, and yeah, I can't sing the praises enough. I actually did a little bit of off-roading, went to a cemetery off the beaten path, and sure enough, had a little bit of off-roading and it performed good. So some of the attributes with the Mirage are amazing fuel efficiency, easy to drive, it handles well, it rides really good, and I have no complaints for a small car. Now, this car is really meant for the city. It's not really a long distance highway driving car. It's, just supposed to be low cost motoring with an excellent entry level price point and excellent return on fuel economy and low maintenance costs. But what I found is that the engine and transmission is suited for the highway pretty good. You can do, way over the limit if you want. It holds the hills good. The cruise control works flawlessly. The engine's never under load. Some of the compromises that you will get in a small car are less sound insulation due to the light vehicle nature. The road noise will be a little bit louder than, let's say, more of a premium built vehicle, but that's the only negative that I can actually give the car. And it's not like a negative, it's more of an expectation of, you're buying an entry level car and the road noise is to be expected, but it didn't get too dirty at all. Knock on wood, if there's wood here, I'm gonna knock on it right now. There's no stone chips on the window or in the bodywork. Took it, like I said, a little bit of off-roading. There's a cemetery that I wanted to go check by here with a couple of famous people from the internet world, and it was not a really well-maintained road. So that's basically the Mirage. 5 liters per 100K, averaging, flawless. Air conditioning works good. I had that on for half the time on low, and it worked extremely well. So as you can tell, this was a former ghost town. There is not much around. There's a house down there, and that's where I'm going to be talking a little bit about tomorrow, why I'm down here. And then this is where all the grain elevators would have been at one time. So I think that's some down there. If I can zoom in a little bit, there's some cement or some foundation remnants of one, but the structures that were actually here are actually moved down to Del Bonita, which is another 45, or not quite 45, probably another 15-20 minutes down the road there. So there was structures here, and this used to be a ghost town, and now it is no longer that. It's just rural property that anybody could purchase and build upon. So I'm going to be looking at possibly purchasing some acreage out here. So that's why I'm down here, and that's why I came down on the ride, and I thought, well, I'll throw a little video in. Here's the historical sign for Whisky Gap, and I really don't know why they renamed it Whiskey instead of Whiskey, because all the buildings and everything had the traditional Canadian spelt whiskey, and then these guys decided to change it to the American one. So I don't know the rationale behind that. Why would they do it when it was never called Whisky Gap, spelt K-E-Y versus K-Y? So anyway, somebody in the Pokemon era decided to change something that it was never called or never spelt the way they're spelling it now. So anyway, a little bit of a historical disagreement there, but that's basically it. So, but anyway guys, I'm gonna hit the road. It's dinner time. Staying in Cardston for 2 nights, tonight and tomorrow. Then I'll be hitting the road, and we'll do a little bit more of the land that I'm looking at purchasing. And yeah, we'll touch base with you guys later. But if you're looking for the Mirage, get one while it lasts, because this is the last year. 2025 is gone, unfortunately, and there is no replacement that I can see on the horizon. So again, the motoring public suffers with less and less product availability and options for the consumer. So anyway guys, we'll catch you on the next episode, and you guys have a good day and stay loose for now.